I'm Priscilla Kandel, here to share my love of the arts with you. For years, I've taught piano, sung at theme parks and special events, composed music for children, and produced and performed in live shows, television, and films. On this show, I'll be sharing various artists and types of art. Welcome to The Arts and You. Radio shows have been around over a century when people sat listening to their favorite comedy shows, news of the world, and great musical entertainment. Many stars became famous for the recorded music as DJs spun their discs and lively tales to loyal listeners around the world. With the onset of the internet, a whole new group of radio networks arose. Not too many know about how or what goes on behind the scenes of these special networks. I've invited Frank Arriaga from WBM Network in Texas to tell us more about it. He runs his shows combining news, sports, and entertainment, as in the 50s and 60s, only using modern-day technology. Unlike bloggers who write and read their thoughts and opinions, these broadcasters report on real-time events. Let's meet Frank Arriaga. Hi, Frank. Welcome to my show.
Hi, Priscilla.
Tell us why you chose to use internet broadcasting instead of using the airwaves.
I started my network on the internet because, as opposed to traditional transistor radio, starting online internet is substantially less. I mean, to start a radio station, the traditional way, transistor radio, the big airwaves, you're looking at anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000. You got to buy the tower, you got to buy the license, you got to buy you got to get a lot of permits. You got to, it's a hassle. Now it's been done, and certainly it can be done, and you need to know how much you're willing to spend, and certainly, in my case, streaming. If you're going to stream something live, it's good to do your homework because each and every individual streaming services has their own requirements and their own information in terms of how they do things. Now, if you're planning to play music, then you will need some kind of licensing because, certainly royalties are something that's always a, problematic issue. But other than that, the only requirements that you'll need, unless you're going to play music, is, know your do's and don'ts, and certainly it helps to have a background in radio, television broadcasting.
What are some of the fees you incur in order to have an internet radio broadcasting station?
You need to be able to pay streaming. And of course, obviously in my case, and I'm pretty sure it's well documented with, the other panel, that if you have a website, certainly website cost, starting up the website, there's a lot that goes into that. So being able to pay your monthly bills when it comes to, in terms of being able to be on the air, a la being on the internet. That's what you need to do in terms of special fees and stuff. But
what about special equipment for a broadcaster to use?
This is a bow ring mixer, and certainly there's different styles of mixers out there. So obviously you need to have a mixer if you're going to be doing any kind of remote broadcasting. Now, if I can point out a picture here, that's the bread and butter. That's the microphone you need. Especially if you're doing podcasts at home. You need a computer to be able to transmit it. You need, microphones like what I just showed you. And certainly if you have XRL cables, you want to have plenty of those, and a mixer or multiple mixers in case you're planning to do remote broadcast.
I'm very happy you are broadcasting my radio internet shows for children. Where else do you find talent for your shows?
Of course, there is Facebook, and, if you're fortunate to be under any sort of association of broadcasters, depending on where you live, that's always a viable tool. But for me, LinkedIn.com has been a huge source, and I'm very grateful for LinkedIn.
That's great. Now, as in any job, there must be certain struggles for you to succeed at this adventure.
Well, the struggles that I deal with, obviously, convincing people to listen to the station, trying to get, advertisers and sponsors to buy into it. And of course, then, depending on what you're broadcasting, like in my case, sports, living here in the state of Texas, it's a struggle, dealing with school districts and other competitors out there that are trying to vie for the entertainment dollar.
Oh, I can understand that.
No question about it. Sponsors, advertisers, they pay the bills. Without sponsors and advertisers, you can't pay people. You can't buy certain equipment. You can't do certain things that you would like to do or be creative. But it's sponsors, advertisers, and depending on what kind of station or your style, I'm sure there will be many times where even in some cases people have like special arrangements with people, like a fan club of some kind, and you pay into it.
Frank, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to become a live broadcaster on the internet?
Be yourself. Believe in your product. Try to stand out. But above all, have fun.
Radio over the airways is still important if you're listening in your car or on your home radio. But if you're on your computer or taking a jog, it's very nice to have internet radio as a nice alternative. As parents become more concerned about too much screen time for their children using computers and television and Zoom for their education and entertainment, maybe we should encourage them to use their ears and imagination more by listening to the radio. Let's support our internet radio entrepreneurs. Thank you, Frank Arriaga of WBM Network.
Be sure to join us on our next show with more arts and artists on the arts and you.